Hey folks, what's up? How you doing? Um, Trying this thing out where I talk and you get to listen to all the smart shit I say. What's up? Anyhow, so some of you may know, I started school for addictions counseling, and but I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of who I am and why I'm doing this YouTube channel. You can Google me. Go ahead. Like Derek Schwetz, Schwetz, Yeah, I have nothing to hide behind, and I'm okay with that. If I didn't go through all the shit I went through, I wouldn't be the person that I'm actually happy with right now. I came from a good home where I had supportive parents, and everything was okay. I went to boarding school, I had friends who loved me, and yeah, I had everything I could want for. So I got my diagnosis of being HIV positive in August 8th, 08 up in Dawson Creek, northern British Columbia by the doctor I had since I was 13. Gives me a hug and goes, "Hey, just be glad it's not cancer." A year later, he dies of throat cancer, right? And so that was a little intense, and so I had to learn how to deal with that. To be honest with you, I was surprised it took as long as it did. I was 29 when I got the diagnosis, and I'm 39 now. I know, I know. Right. Face. Moisturizer. So I came down to Vancouver, and I started volunteering at a place, and I was the fresh meat. So I just started discovering my sexuality as an HIV positive male, and it went well for a while, and I started figuring out, oh, okay. People start asking me, do you do crystal? I'm like, no, I don't, but I'll do E. So I started doing E, and then, one day after a while, I actually did crystal, and I developed such a heavy ass addiction towards it, okay? Eventually. But I started off with basically butt sex and meth. Oh my God. Seriously, the things you can do to your butthole and other people's when you're on meth. Yeah, but the problem is you just become so dehydrated after like 36 hours of fucking. Your jizz is just like, this thing is pointless. Like, orgasm is not really attainable after the first time for me. So I was always chasing that butt sex and meth high, right? And that's what it started out as. So I started doing it just for partying here and there, and then I started doing it because it was fun, and I started doing it by myself, and then eventually I got kicked out on my 31st birthday, May 31st. I got kicked out of my place. I was so high, I just dropped everything. The thing that hurts me most is some of the stuff from my grandmother who passed on, but the thing that hurt me most is all the music I created over 10 years of music I made on like electronic music. I was actually pretty fucking good at it. And I did some really trippy shit, like full on like classical pieces there, like an hour and long, just like really weird shit. Like, it was fun, right? Like, really paid attention. Each one of those pieces took me over a year to create. No copies anywhere. That's what really hurts me. And that and my teddy bear, which I had since I was a baby. I don't have the teddy bear anymore. So I got kicked out. I was homeless. I was on the streets. And yeah, I started using meth regularly because now I'm on the streets. And it's easier to defend yourself when you're awakened than when you're asleep, right? So, yeah. I developed that addiction. I started doing little bits of crime, mostly fraud. Then I started doing shoplifting, and then I just started going to jail. I started doing little bits and pieces. So I started having to do community service, and never did it. Then I started doing provincial time, and over the course of the next few years, between being homeless and in shelters and causing shit and just being like Ash said, I was a sex worker as well. Like, you throw it in the mix, I was in there somewhere, right? And I eventually went federal. And that's when it hit rock bottom for me. Like, I was done. I was fucking done with the life. And it took some time, but it took a few years till I was clean off meth. I had a few relapses and things like that, but it's been an uphill battle. But now I don't know where I am, but I'm a lot better than I used to be. Lot better. Like my last relapse, I was on the roof of my work trying to fish pigeons out of a fucking vent, trying to kill the damn things in the middle of January. My boss looks at me and goes like, what the fuck are you doing? I was so high, like ridiculously high. I was supposed to show up at work at 9:30, but I actually showed up to work at 4:30 in that afternoon. And I'm just like sitting there like all fucking methed out. I'm like, oh yeah, fucking calling my work and going, yeah, I'll be there in half hour. 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 Luckily, I was a supervisor at the time, but I still fucked it up. And yeah, it was hard taking my parents into it because like I didn't talk to my parents for 3 years in that space, 3.5 years, and I called them finally from jail, and my mom broke down crying and goes, "Wow, at least we know where you are and you're not dead and you're safe." To hear those words coming out of your mother's mouth when you haven't talked to her in a few years and you're in jail, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It makes you think, but I was in my addiction at the time and it didn't really matter to me. So that's where I went, and I kept on going. I kept on going, and it's been a journey. It's been a journey since then, and it's been a good one. It's been rough, and I've had a couple little setbacks, but nothing so dangerous. But until that relapse I had, and I was fearful of losing everything, and I mean everything. I didn't have much, but it was all mine, all mine. I earned it, every last bit of it. It was mine, and I was scared of losing it. That's what got me. And so now I have more things. I have a motorbike. I have a good life. I am content. Everything I've led up to now has led up to my contentment. I am happy with myself. And so as I said at the beginning, all the experiences that I've had in the last decade wouldn't have, if I didn't have them, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And I like myself. I actually really like myself. I'm a much better human being than I ever was. I am much more understanding. I am freer. I have zero fucks to give. Like, quite literally zero fucks to give. Anybody who knows me in person knows that, and that's one of my best qualities, right? So yeah, now like I go to the gym. I'm fucking vegan. I amateur strip once in a blue moon, like, and I actually get paid to do it, right? Like, and it's pretty fucking sweet. I never thought I'd look like this at 40. I never thought I'd be as happy like this, let alone make it to 40. And now I'm surrounded by friends who love me for me. And that is priceless. That is really fucking priceless. And like, it's definitely interesting when you can look at yourself in the mirror and not wish you saw someone else. And that's going to be, I'm going to talk about that in the future. Most likely in my next video, I'm going to talk about stripping the layers away of what society taught you to think about yourself, to strip all those layers away and discover who you truly are underneath it all. Do you actually give a shit, or does society tell you to give a shit about other people's thoughts, opinions of you? So this is going to be a trippy journey. There's going to be lots of challenges. I'm going to come up with it, and hopefully you guys come along for the ride. Until then, peace, love you. Bam.